The ultimate ethos of this film is that a dependable friend, a rescue cat, and a good sandwich all make life worth living. So I think that's probably going to be the movie message of the year. What do you think, Bill?
I got a cat.
Sorry Baby is the directorial debut of Eva Victor, who also wrote the screenplay and stars as Agnes. The film premiered at Sundance earlier this year, where it made a lot of waves, and it's not hard to see why. The story revolves around Agnes as she deals with the lasting trauma from a sexual assault, unfolding over several nonlinear chapters. It all takes place in a small, wintry, rural New England town where Agnes works first as a grad student and then as a professor of literature at the local liberal arts college. Both before and after what she calls the bad thing, she's supported by her best friend Liddy, played by Naomi Ackie, and eventually finds a friend with benefits in her neighbor Gavin, played by Lucas Hedges. Very real and very hard conversations are interlaced with rich humor, making for a really unique comedic drama slash dramatic comedy. It's one of the few films out there that is able to strike that balance almost perfectly rather than lose the laughs while dramatic tensions build. That's in large part due to Ava Victor's writing and specifically her dialogue. Every exchange between Liddy and Agnes feels so deeply lived in and real as besties, from their stupid inside jokes to their difficulty with saying hard things out loud. There's a part early on in the movie where Liddy is clearly super concerned with Agnes and her mental health. She's been living alone in the same place ever since the bad thing happened. And as a friend, she really wants to make sure that her friend is okay. But all she can manage to say in that moment is, please don't die. The movie does that kind of thing a lot, where it takes complex and really thorny feelings and blunts them, but still makes them incredibly impactful and incredibly real. In that way, there's a real human understanding at the root of this writing, even as some aspects of the movie and the dialogue get a bit more heightened. You know it's an American independent film because an esteemed and slightly older actor gets to show up and provide guidance during one scene, and for Sorry Baby, that role is fulfilled by John Carroll Lynch and his pretty spectacular Boston accent. Given that much of the movie functions in a vignette-y style, this works and doesn't come off as particularly overwrought. Plus, John Carroll Lynch and Eva Victor have a pretty funny back and forth going on between the two of them. Agnes also faces off against a hilariously rude rival grad student, later professor-ish, named Natasha, who's played by Kelly McCormick. And it's a great bit part for a character actress. She was great, got laughs every time she was on screen. Lucas Hedges is also super funny and somehow just as awkward as Eva Victor's Agnes, which is really hard to do. And generally, it's awesome to see him back in the indie dramedy sphere after a few years away.
Gavin is my neighbor. Gavin, you actually live over there.
Oh, yes, I live there. Oops.
That's okay. Sweet dreams, Gavin. God bless your lost soul and have a good night.
It's nice to meet you, Liddy.
Me too. He's cute.
Of course, the real stars are Eva Victor and Naomi Ackie, the latter of whom is on a major hot streak when it comes to both picking her projects and turning in great performances in them. The movie literally cannot work if their friendship cannot be felt through the screen, and they have just such a wonderful chemistry that it holds up the whole movie even when some of the overall tension or energy starts to peter out at times. In that vein, Sorry Baby does have a few moments where it feels a little bit sparse or like it could have shaved a few minutes of quiet wistfulness or twee conversations off the runtime and still managed to meet its overall goal. Even though I said the script is great, and it is, there are a couple of points when it really draws attention to itself. Agnes gets a few monologues that feel very written in comparison to the rest of the movie, which is a bit distracting. It's weird to have these very specifically written, almost overwritten moments in an otherwise kind of naturalistic or awkward movie. The final scene specifically is one such monologue, and structuring it in that way ultimately doesn't add much and maybe even detracts a bit from the movie. Overall, though, I think this is more than worth a watch. It's well done, confidently made, and a solid addition to the canon of Sundancey indies. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and the theatrical release has been pretty limited, but it will likely be on HBO in the coming months, so definitely worth a stream there.
You want to come get coffee?
You want to come get coffee?